They thought they could break me. They thought they could make me bend to their will. But what they didn't realize is that they were creating something far more powerful. They made a monster, and now they fear my name. Let's rewind for a second. Just a few years ago, I was nothing like I am today. I was quiet, reserved, just another face in the crowd. I let people walk all over me, simply because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I thought if I stayed quiet, kept my head down, and let people have their way, things would be easier. But they weren't. Things didn't get easier. They got harder. And I realized I wasn't living for myself anymore. There was a point when I realized I had to make a change. They had been pushing me every single day, pushing my limits, testing my patience, disrespecting me, undermining me. And I didn't fight back. I stayed silent. But something inside me started to shift. I could feel it, like a storm was brewing. The more they pushed me, the stronger that storm became. They thought they could break me, but they didn't realize they were building me up. They didn't know that each word, each action that tried to break me was slowly turning me into something they would fear. Every insult, every lie, every disrespectful move they made only fueled the fire inside me. At first, I didn't see it. I didn't understand it. But then, the change started. I didn't need to be quiet anymore. I didn't need to stay small. I began to rise, slowly at first, but with more power than I'd ever known. I realized that I wasn't meant to be a victim. I wasn't meant to be someone they could push around. The truth is, I was building strength. I was building resilience. And they didn't even know it. They thought they were winning. They thought they were breaking me down. But what they didn't see was that they were creating something much bigger than they ever could have imagined. They were creating a monster, a force they couldn't control. And one day, that force would rise, and they would see the real me. They'd see that I was no longer the person they could hurt, the person they could break. They'd see the monster they had made. And let me tell you something, when that moment came, when that shift happened, they were terrified. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was just me. Me, standing tall, with a strength they had never seen before. No longer the person they had known. No longer the quiet, passive individual they thought they could silence. Now, I was a force. I was something they couldn't ignore. The fear in their eyes, it was like they saw a ghost. They realized that they had made a mistake. They had pushed me to the point of no return. And now, I wasn't just someone they could forget. I wasn't someone they could walk all over. They had turned me into something they couldn't handle. And let me tell you, when you reach that point, when you step into your true power, when you stop allowing people to break you, that's when they start to fear you. That's when they start to regret ever messing with you. But here's the thing. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in a day. It was a journey, a long one, and it wasn't easy. Every day, I had to make a choice. I had to choose to rise, to become something greater. There were days when I felt like giving up, days when I felt like everything was against me. But it was those very days that taught me the most. It was in the struggle that I learned my true strength. It was in the darkest moments that I realized just how powerful I could be. And now, when they look at me, when they see what I've become, they don't see the person they once knew. They see a monster. They see someone who doesn't take disrespect lightly, someone who isn't afraid to stand up for themselves. And they're afraid. Afraid of the person I've become. Afraid of the power that's now inside me. And trust me, they know they created this monster. But here's the kicker. You can do the same. You can be the same. You have the power within you to turn your pain into power. You have the strength to rise, to become something no one can push around. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need anyone's approval. All you need is to believe in yourself and trust that you are capable of becoming unstoppable. So, if you're sitting there right now, wondering if you can make it, wondering if you have what it takes, the answer is yes. You do. You have everything inside you to become the person you've always dreamed of being. You just have to unlock it. You just have to stop letting them dictate who you are. You have to stop letting them control your narrative, because when you do, when you unleash your true power, they won't be able to stop you. They won't be able to control you. And one day, they'll look back and realize that the monster they tried to make is exactly the one who took everything from them. They'll look back and see that the fear they feel, the regret they feel, is all because of the person they tried to break. But now, they've only made you stronger. They've only made you a force to be reckoned with. And when you rise, trust me, they'll fear your name. Because they'll know exactly who you are. They'll know that you are not someone they can walk over. You are someone who stands tall, someone who refuses to be broken, someone who has become unstoppable. They will fear you because they created the monster they now cannot control. You thought you could predict me, shape me, control me. But you didn't realize what you were setting into motion. Every word you spat, every move you made, was carving something far more powerful than you could ever anticipate. You didn't just build a monster, you built your reckoning. And now, I'm here to collect. Do you feel it? The weight of your choices pressing down on you? It's the same weight I carried for so long. But unlike you, I didn't crumble beneath it. I used it. I forged it into armor, into strength, into fire. You see, the funny thing about pain is, it can destroy you, or it can rebuild you. And you gave me more than enough to rebuild myself into something unstoppable. Every time you laughed at my struggle, every time you mocked my effort, you were handing me the tools I needed to rise above you. And now, you'll see what that strength looks like. It's not just power, it's precision. It's knowing exactly where to strike, exactly how to dismantle everything you thought made you untouchable. Your power, your pride, it's nothing compared to what I've become. But let me tell you something, it's not just about revenge. Revenge is too simple, too fleeting. This is about transformation. This is about taking everything you threw at me and turning it into something you can't control, something you can't stop. You wanted me to fall, but instead, I learned how to fly. And now, you'll be the one left crawling, grasping for the strength that you'll never find. You can try to run, but you'll only be delaying the inevitable. Because this isn't just about catching you, it's about showing you the truth. The truth of what happens when you try to destroy someone who refuses to be destroyed. You thought you could end me, but all you did was start something you'll never be able to finish. And now, here I stand, not just as the person you tried to break, but as the force you'll never escape. Every shadow you see, every sound you hear, will remind you of what's coming. Me. And when I do, you won't just face me, you'll face everything you created, everything you thought you could bury. But the thing about burying someone, sometimes they come back stronger than ever. So go ahead, keep pretending you're untouchable. Keep acting like you have the upper hand. But deep down, you already know the truth. You feel it in every moment of silence, every flicker of doubt. You know that no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you can't stop what's coming. Because I'm not just coming for you. I'm coming to rewrite the rules, to take back everything you thought you could steal from me. And here's the best part, you'll watch it happen. You'll watch as everything you built crumbles, as every ounce of control you thought you had slips through your fingers. You'll see what it feels like to lose, to fall, to be completely and utterly defeated. And when it's over, when there's nothing left but the memory of what you thought you were, you'll understand that you were the architect of your own downfall. So don't bother praying for mercy. Don't bother hoping for an escape. Because this isn't a battle you can win. This isn't a story where you get to walk away. This is the end of the line. And when the dust settles, the only thing left standing will be the monster you created. You thought that by pushing me to the edge, you'd have the upper hand. You thought that breaking me down would be the end of the story. But you couldn't have been more wrong. It's funny, really. You thought that when you left me broken and bleeding, that would be the end of it. You thought you'd won. You thought I would disappear into nothingness, like a whisper in the wind. But here's the truth you're going to learn the hard way. What you call an end, I call a beginning. Every moment you thought you were winning, every time you laughed at my struggles, you were unknowingly giving me the tools to transform. You gave me the rage. You gave me the hatred. You gave me the strength I needed to rise up from the ashes of the person you thought I was. And now, what you've created isn't just someone you can walk over anymore. No. What you've created is someone you will fear for the rest of your life. I was born out of your cruelty, your lies, your betrayal, but I'm not just a product of your actions. I'm a product of everything you underestimated about me. I'm a reflection of every moment you thought you had me beat. But now, you're going to see what happens when you push someone too far. You're about to witness the monster you've helped create. And trust me, you won't like what you see. At first, I was just like anyone else. I had my doubts. I had my fears. I wasn't sure if I had the strength to rise above it all. But you made a fatal mistake. You thought I wouldn't fight back. You thought I would remain the same, that I would stay small, stay weak. But every blow, every insult, every time you turned your back on me, you were feeding something inside me. You were feeding my hunger for revenge, for power. And now, I'm no longer the person you tried to defeat. You can't undo the damage you've done. The monster is already here, and it's not going anywhere. You see, what you don't understand is that every action you took to push me down, to make me feel small, has turned into something greater. I've taken all the pain, all the suffering, and I've molded it into something that cannot be stopped. And now, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, I will be there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to claim what's mine. I know what you're thinking right now. You're wondering if there's any way to escape this. You're hoping that maybe, just maybe, you can outrun me. But that's the thing about fear, it catches up to you. And no matter how fast you run, no matter how far you try to hide, you'll never escape what you've created. Because deep down, you know that the monster you made is coming for you, and there's no place left where you can hide. I'm not the same person I was before. I'm not the person you could hurt. I'm not the person you could walk over. No. Now, I'm something different. I'm a force you can't control, a storm you can't outrun. Every step you take now, every move you make, will be met with the crushing weight of everything you've done. And trust me, there is no hiding from that. You can't run from your own mistakes. Do you remember the times when you thought you could laugh at my expense? When you thought it was fun to watch me struggle? When you thought I would just stay down? Well, now the joke's on you. Because the thing about underestimating someone is that it always comes back to bite you. And now, you'll see just how powerful I've become. You didn't realize that every time you pushed me, every time you knocked me down, you were only building a monster. A monster that would rise stronger and more powerful than anything you could have ever imagined. You thought you were winning. You thought you were in control. But now, you're about to witness the consequences of your actions. And trust me, it's going to be far worse than you ever imagined. Every second that passes, you feel the pressure building, don't you? That's the weight of your choices coming back to haunt you. That's the realization sinking in that there is no escape. You made this. You created this monster. And now, you're going to pay the price for it. But let's not pretend that you didn't know what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. You knew that every time you pushed me down, you were pushing me to become something stronger. You thought you could break me. You thought you could defeat me. But you only made me rise higher. You made me more powerful. You made me unstoppable. And now, You're going to regret it. I'm not here for revenge. No. Revenge is too small a word for what's coming. This is about obliteration. This is about taking everything you built and burning it to the ground. This is about making you realize that you can't control me. You can't beat me. You can't win. Because now, I'm the one calling the shots. And you'll never see it coming. Every step you take now will feel like it's in slow motion. You'll feel the fear creeping in. You'll feel the weight of your regret, the weight of your past mistakes. And as much as you try to run, to hide, to make it right, you'll know deep down that it's too late. The monster is already here, and there's no escaping it. So go ahead, keep pretending you have the upper hand. Keep pretending you're in control. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that everything you thought you had is slipping away. Because I'm here now. And I'm not going anywhere. The thing about monsters is that they don't just come from nowhere. They come from a place of pain, of betrayal, of hurt. And when you try to break someone, when you try to crush them beneath your heel, you're only feeding that darkness. You're only helping it grow. And that's what happened to me. You fed the darkness. And now, it's too late to stop it. You think you can stop me? You think you can find a way out of this? You think that by hiding, by running, by pretending this isn't happening, you'll escape what's coming? You're wrong. You can't run from something that's already inside of you. And now, you'll feel every ounce of the power you created. You'll feel it closing in on you. You'll feel it in every step, in every breath you take. This isn't just about me anymore. This is about the monster you've unleashed. This is about the consequences of your actions. This is about realizing that you can't control everything. And when the dust settles, when everything is said and done, you'll understand that you created this. You made me what I am. And now, you'll pay for it.